Okay. Hi, Mr. Sanchez. My name is Jack.
Hi, Jack.
My name is Manju.
Hi, Manchu.
My name is Karis Tam.
Hi, Karis.
So welcome, Mr. Sanchez, to our Zoom candidate interview. So we'll be starting by asking a few questions to Mr. Jose Sanchez. So the first question will be, tell us a little bit about yourself and your goals as a city council or school board candidates.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me and for doing this. By doing this, you guys are showing a lot of commitment to civic engagement and to your community. So I appreciate the work that you guys are doing and for taking that time to do that. Thank you guys. My name's Jose Sanchez. I am a teacher in Alhambra, and I have been a teacher for the last 17 years. I'm also a parent of three daughters, and my wife is also a teacher in Alhambra. We live in Monterey Park, and our daughter attends Brightwood Elementary School. So we decided to get involved in our community by running for city council and trying to do some changes in our city. Like many of our students, I'm also the son of immigrants. My parents migrated here, many years ago from Mexico. And so a lot of what I do currently with my students is to try to help them by empowering them to be civically engaged in their communities, by being more involved in their local, state, or even at the national level, right? But I think a lot of what happened in the last couple of years as a result of the pandemic is it showed a lot of the holes that we have in our society, right? We have a lot of homelessness problems. Housing has gotten very expensive. We have families that suffer from food insecurity. We had a rise in hate crimes against not just Hispanics and Latinos in our community, but also the Asian American community. And so it's been a rough couple of years, right? Being in this pandemic, not to mention many of the people who suffered as a result of the pandemic and who passed away as a result of the pandemic. So I think what the pandemic did is it showed a lot of the problems that we still have in our society, but it brought them to light, and we got to see a lot of those. So I think that part of the reason why I'm running is to try to hope to make some of those changes, right? Try to provide a lot more housing. We have a lot of students in our district in Alhambra Unified that are homeless and their families, and so we hope that my involvement in the city council in Monterey Park, which serves a lot of the students in Alhambra Unified, we can resolve and try to find a lot of these problems, a lot of the solutions to these problems.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. The second question we will be asking you is, what do you see as the major issue in the community in the coming 4 years?
All right. So, man, where do I start? There's so many issues that are facing our community, right? And I think we see a lot of them. I think the one I'm going to talk about the most has to do with the environment and climate change. I think that we are starting to see a lot of changes in our society, and a lot of it has to do with our carbon footprint, right? We are so heavily dependent as a society on fossil fuels, our cars, how we power our homes, and everything that we're so used to. But I think a lot of what has to change in our society, and that starts in Alhambra, that starts in Monterey Park, that starts in the San Gabriel Valley, right, is how we operate. Our mindset has to change. We cannot be so dependent on cars, fossil fuel powered cars, the combustible engines anymore, because we are now starting to see the impact that cars are having, not just on our environment, but our own health. A lot of our schools in our school district are actually along not just freeways, but also streets that are heavily trafficked. Where I live here in Monterey Park, we have a lot of schools that are on streets that are heavily trafficked, like Garvey, for example. And a lot of the students inhale a lot of those fumes. They inhale a lot of that smog, and we know it's not good for our health. We know it's not good for the environment. So I think one of the things that drastically needs to change in our society is our mindset about how we operate. We can't continue to operate this way. It's having a dramatic impact on our lives. And if we don't change now, the future for mankind is going to be very, very drastic. It's going to be very bad. And I have kids, so I have three daughters, and I'm really scared that if we don't make the necessary changes that we need today for our environment in terms of reducing our carbon footprint, we are going to leave a world that is so much more different. That is going to be a lot warmer and hotter. I mean, you think about Every year we have some really hot days. Every year it gets hotter and hotter. Our water is disappearing. Our clean water is disappearing. And that's going to become, a valuable resource. And we cannot, we cannot continue to operate this way. Otherwise, we're going to extinct ourselves, right? And we can't allow that to happen. So I think that we need to do everything that we do, from a local city, from a school district, even as the San Gabriel Valley is, we need to dramatically look at what type of impact we're having and how we can preserve our environment to make sure that we leave a world that is clean and healthy for everyone, including yourselves and your kids that are coming one day, So I hope that I'm doing, and I hope you guys continue to do a lot of this work, but that you also look at what type of impact you can have to try to change our society in terms of our environment. Because we look to you guys as the future. So, so I think the environment is our biggest issue that we need to look at.
Okay, thank you for your answer. We can tell that you put a lot of thought into this. And we have one more question that we want to ask you. What would you like to say to the student in the Alhambra Unified School District?
Wow. Well, I think what I'd like to say is that many of the solutions to the world's problems that we see on a daily basis in the news, that you witness or see, are actually reside in you. The solution resides in you. I think a lot of the solutions that we're not seeing today, it's because we're not maybe discussing or working towards it. But you guys are our future. You guys many of you will become doctors and medical researchers and find cures to diseases that are currently plaguing us. Some of you might invent leading technology that will resolve a lot of our energy problems that we see today. Some of you guys will become frontiersmen, leading the way to a more sustainable future. And I think that a lot of the changes that you guys could potentially do one day will help preserve our, mankind. So I want you to know that even though you might not be of voting age, that your voice matters. I want you to know that even though that you might feel like adults run your world, your parents, teachers, everyone around you, that you actually have a lot of power. What you're doing today, even interviewing candidates, shows the amount of power that you guys have today. I am very hopeful that the type of future that you guys will be able to provide, that will make the necessary and drastic changes that we need in our society, from resolving our homeless problem, from drug dependencies, from our environment, to even just getting everyone on electric vehicles, right, and getting off of fossil fuels. I think a lot of you guys will be able to do that, and that's gonna take a lot of courage. It's gonna take a lot of change, but I think that we can do it. All you have to do is take a leap of faith. And in my culture, in Hispanic culture, we say, si se puede, we can do it, right? All you have to do is have ganas, right? Have the will to do it, right? So if there's anything that I will leave Alhambra students, Alhambra Unified School District students with, is that the power of change is in you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. It means a lot to us, and wish you luck in your future campaign.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the time. And if you'd like to get involved, visit Jose Sanchez for MontereyPark.com. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.